This is Cryptids and Comedians, the show where two stand-up comics talk about mythical animals the same way we talk about the night we crushed at the Comedy Store. We swear it happened. There's no evidence of it because they don't let you tape your sets there. And I say that as if I know, because I haven't been to the Comedy Store in... I can't even tell you the last time I did a set at the Comedy Store. I'm Thom Tran, here with my co-host Peter Murphy, who has been to the Comedy Store recently. How are you, sir?
Hey, anyone can buy a ticket.
That felt like an attack. That felt like an attack.
My name is Peter Murphy. I'm a comedian as well. A little more skeptical in terms of cryptids, but I'm interested to see what Thom has to present today.
Yeah, we live in Hollywood and we get to perform all over the world, so it gives us an opportunity to fuel our obsession to discover cryptids from all over the place. Every week we talk about a different cryptid. I tell Peter about the history, lore, culture, significance, pop culture references, and any evidence, if there is any, and he tells me why I am wrong. As always, Peter, for those who don't know what a cryptid is, would you explain it to our audience, please?
A cryptid is like... it's like
he didn't even say it right.
A cryptid, it's like one of the, it's like something that you put in your refrigerator that isn't edible.
Okay.
Like millennials growing up might have had like a green bell pepper with like a coat on to keep the freezer fresh. But it was like fake. It was made out of plastic. It's like that, or it's that, or it's like a it's one of those things where it's like a mythical creature that can't be confirmed to exist or not, like a Loch Ness monster, or like say a Yeti.
Okay, so an animal that is believed to exist, but there's no actual scientific proof or evidence.
That's what I said.
Okay, that's exactly what you said. This week we're going to talk about what seems like a physically exhausting cryptid, the Chinese hopping or jumping vampire.
Oh.
Peter, have you ever heard of these?
The Chinese hopping or jumping vampire?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I have not heard of this.
Okay.
And I don't know if I mean, there's so many vampires in media. I don't know if I've ever seen this portrayed even.
Really?
But the way that you and I are both afraid of things that bound, this could be the scariest cryptid we've ever explored.
Maybe. Let's talk about it. The Chinese jumping vampire or hopping vampire. And I'm going to apologize right off the bat to our Chinese listeners, of which I have two, I believe, Jeff and Dave. Super Chinese names.
Yeah.
Don't
do the voice, Thom. Don't do the voice.
I'm
Chinese. Begging you, don't do the voice.
I'm not Chinese. So
I know.
I'm going to screw up a lot of the pronunciations. Also, Jeff and Dave sound like they're from Orange County because they are. So there's very dude.
Jeff and Dave is like the Bill and Ted version, like porn version.
Yes. The Temu version of Bill and Ted. Exactly. The Chinese jumping or hopping vampire is also known as the Zhangxi. Now, Chinese is a very... inflection-based language. So if you say it one way, it means hopping vampire, Zhangxi, which I probably just messed up. But if you say it with the inflection just a little off, Zhangxi,
that means
it's a Marvel character.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even lying. That is true.
Yeah.
You have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, but we will get into that in just a little bit. Let's talk about one of the weirdest, funniest, and creepiest monsters in folklore, the Chinese hopping vampire, or in Mandarin, the Zhangxi. It is the reanimated corpse of a person who drains the qi, or the life force, of a person instead of the blood. So have you heard of qi?
Well, yeah. Like, like your soul, right? Like not your soul, but like the vibe of your soul.
Okay.
You know, like the vibe of your soul. Like if I'm starting my own gym, like a training gym, for exercise, we're not working on the external. I accept you as you are, right? We're working on the vibe of your soul, your chi, right. And like come into the gym. We're going to work on the vibe, just vibing out and your essence and your vibe. And it's all under the umbrella of chi, essence, vibe, soul, boogie, your groove,
your boogie nights,
your groove. Is that right?
No. It's your energy. It's your life force.
Oh, okay.
So instead of draining blood like I guess, Western vampire, it drains your chi or your life force. It looks like this.
Oh,
Pale greenish. It wears the traditional clothing of the Qin dynasty. I believe it's the Qin dynasty. They have long, sharp fingernails.
oh,
Yeah, they're dressed in Qin dynasty robes. They usually have like a black cap and a long gown. Their arms are stretched out and stiff because they're reanimated corpses. Their body's rigid and they can't bend their joints. So they kind of look like this as well.
oh,
Yeah, their arms kind of out. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see the rendering or an artist rendition of what one of these hopping vampires looks like. Arms stretched out, classic Qin dynasty clothing. And it's terrifying in a way of like, this is not the traditional. Here's another.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's another movie presentation of what a hopping vampire is. And here's the crazy thing. Here's the weird thing. I remember my mom talking about this. I'm not Chinese, but Vietnamese culture in China, right there. And I remember my mom actually. I was a kid when she was talking to my aunt about a member of her family that they thought was a vampire. And they were not discussing it in a way of like they were joking around or pulling my leg. They were having a genuine conversation about this. And I just happened to be in the room while it was happening.
Whoa.
And I remember my mom saying they like tried to dig up this family member's corpse and it was still bloated and it still looked like they were like still alive, like the fingernails grew out and they were gaunt.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was weird. I think the creepiest part about it was they were having the conversation as if it was just a normal thing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was like just part of the culture believed it.
It's like that, like it was like for sure real. Like,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely people that steal your energy.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, they're called open micers. I'm sorry, open micers.
Or people that keep saying like, "Oh, why don't you put that in one of your skits? Why don't you put that in one of your little skits?"
Hey, you can have this one for your sketch when you go up.
Like, come on, dude. Yeah. Yeah. So like it sounds like there's a spectrum here of like the people that monopolize the conversation all the way to people that like, are bloated, undead mess of stolen chi.
Yeah, I mean, have you watched What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes. Did they have one
series?
on there?
Yeah, well,
They have
not
the energy
exactly.
vamp,
They have
right?
Yeah, they have Colin. Colin, can't remember his last name.
Yeah.
But he's an energy vampire. He just sucks the life out of you. He sucks the energy out of people. So that's kind of what these vampires are described to be. Weaknesses come from the Taoist talismans, which is written in red ink and slapped on its forehead. So kind of like it's basically if you take a Post-it note and write something on it in Chinese and stick it to their foreheads, that is a way of banishing them.
Oh my gosh, that's how you kill them?
Yeah, apparently. But I've also heard that that's how you bring them to life.
Yeah, but also like if somebody did that to me, I would be so embarrassed I would leave too. You know what I mean? Like if somebody wrote a note on a sticky note and then pinned it to my forehead, and be like, "Oh, this is
I'm not wanted here.
I'm clearly not wanted and I'm embarrassed."
Okay, then I'm going to leave. Let's talk about the history and lore of these creatures. Stories come from Chinese folklore, especially during the Qin dynasty, which is from the 1600s to the 1900s. It's rooted in Taoist beliefs about the soul and the afterlife. People believed improper burial, violent death, or spiritual imbalance could create a jiangxi. It's also tied to the belief that souls must travel home after death. So one of the things is people would the idea is your family's supposed to take care of your corpse and your body when you die and get it properly buried. And the idea was like they would hire these monks to transport your body to the burial place. But you know, these monks, they're not power lifters. They're not drinking creatine, protein shakes. They can't just throw a dead body over their shoulder and carry them. They have to reanimate these bodies and then lead them to the burial ground.
Whoa.
And to do that, because their bodies are stiff, that's why they would jump.
Oh.
That is the idea.
Wait, so they jump like standing straight up?
Yeah, with their arms outstretched like this.
Oh, wow. And they jump. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So the idea is these Taoist monks would lead these creatures to their burial. Now, they also believe that improper burial happened. If improper burial happened, these creatures could reanimate, take care of their unfinished business in this life. Restless souls could return to drain the chi of the living. Oh. And again, families would move corpses back home by strapping them upright and carrying them. And at night, it looked like these creatures were hopping.
Oh,
right.
Oh my gosh.
Descriptions from across texts. First literary mentions in the Qin dynasty. You have short stories like Strange Tales from a Chinese studio. They were depicted as stiff corpses, faces turning blue and green like this.
Strange Tales from a Chinese studio. That's one of my favorite Billy Joel songs. He's got more famous ones, but honestly, for me, it's the deep cuts.
It's either that or the Italian restaurant one.
Yeah.
That one is.
Bottle of red.
Not a big Billy Joel fan.
Bottle of white. What's the Chinese version? Like flat noodles.
What's the Chinese version of Uptown Girl?
Oh, yeah.
Shanghai Girl?
Uptight Host. Uptight Host. Just like at Chinese restaurants, for some reason, they're always so stressed out at the front.
Here's the thing. If I ever go to an Asian restaurant and I don't get treated like I am an inconvenience to them, the food's not good.
Yeah.
Like if I walk into an Asian restaurant, there's a Vietnamese restaurant in North Hollywood.
Oh, you talk? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I walked in and they were so sweet and gentle and kind with me. I was like, this is not going to be good.
Really?
This is not going to be good.
It's almost like a kink for you. It adds to it's like the seasoning that you don't taste.
No, it's like I feel like when you have these Asian restaurants or any fusion restaurants for that matter, like you have like Mexican fusion, blah, blah, like they're trying to feed your they're not trying to feed your body or your soul. They're trying to feed your ego. You go to these places and they're like, they're beautiful and they have great interior. But if there's not an angry old Vietnamese grandmother making my pho, it's not good. It's not good. Like if I go to your bathroom in your restaurant and next to the toilet is not cleaning fluid and a mop, it's not good. It's not good.
One of my favorite Chinese restaurants in New York City, Big Wong's, been going there for 17 years. I think it's closed now because it's just so insanely unsanitary.
Oh my God, they actually closed the place for being unsanitary?
In January, I went back and I walked to Chinatown looking for it. Big Wong's, loved it. Beef chow fun was one of my favorites there. You know, ducks hanging in the window, the whole nine. But the bathroom, I would bring friends there or dates there, and they'd be like, the bathroom is disgusting. And it was like a Saw movie had been filmed there.
Hilarious.
And down the most steep set of stairs into a basement where the bathroom was. And I guess they just upset the wrong sanitary, person, and now they're closed. So but best food, some of the best Chinese food I've ever had in my life.
Here's the crazy thing. So my favorite Peking duck place in Chinatown in Manhattan, like for not exaggerating, a decade. Anytime I went to New York City for anything, it had to include a trip to this place.
Gotta have a place, yeah.
Pandemic happens. I you know, we're all stuck for a while. And then at one point, I'm like, I'm going to drive to New York.
City.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I stopped in Buffalo to see my family.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to go to New York and I'm going to go to my favorite Chinese food place. Gone.
Really? It was gone. Didn't survive the pandemic. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So that Chinese restaurant died. Let's say, but that was your favorite, right?
Just the best Peking duck
Right.
anywhere. Like, I've yet to find a place that tops it.
Let me ask you this. Let's say, okay, so that place is dead. Let's say everybody else there, let's say it's reincarnated, but everyone that works there is a hopping vampire. Do you still go?
Do they serve the duck?
They serve same menu,
Same
exact menu, just as you remember it.
I'm there.
You go.
Not
you
a
risk
question.
it.
That is
you
not a
risk
question.
It. You could become like
not even a question.
They still steal your chi though.
Listen, I'm dead inside. They can try. You know what happens when a vampire drinks a dead person's blood?
What?
They die.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you watched like what's that? The one with Tom Cruise and the other handsome son of a bitch?
Mission Impossible.
Yes. That's the vampire movie I'm talking about. Interview with a Vampire.
You know what? You want me to tell you something, Tom?
What?
Every Tom Cruise movie is a vampire movie.
You know what? You are not lying. That is facts. That is facts.
Interview with a Vampire, you said?
Interview with a Vampire.
Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
So there's something about the vampire legend where you have to drain a person's blood before they die. Like they still have to be living. Like if you kill them and then they die, the blood's not doing anything. I'm dead inside. Try to drain my chi. See what happens. See what happens to hopping vampires if they tried. I'm a comedian in his 40s who still doesn't have a Netflix special or an HBO special or Comedy Central. My soul, it's been dead for 10 years. So please, if I can get Peking duck at this place that is run by Chinese hopping vampires, I am there, bro.
It's the little things. It's the little things in life.
That doesn't scare me.
Okay. Wow. You'd go into any terrain or any type of circumstance for amazing food.
Yeah.
Wow.
I drove to Riverside for a hot dog.
Wow.
I, on the regular, drive to Buena Park. This doesn't mean anything to anybody who doesn't live in Los Angeles, but I live in the Valley.
Right.
Buena Park is 60 miles away. So that is, on average, a 9-hour drive.
Whoa.
I will go down there for hot dogs. There's a Portillo's down there. I say yes to gigs in Chicago that pay next to nothing just so they can go get Portillo's. But it's really not a thing anymore. I can go to Anaheim. However, this is true. I one time had to drive down there. I didn't have to drive down. I wanted to drive down there for hot dogs. Portillo's, if you don't know, Portillo's. Great. It's this great place in the Chicago area. They have Chicago beef, Chicago hot dogs, and there are 2 locations in Southern California. One in Buena Park, one out in like the Riverside area.
Oh. But it's a Chicago chain.
It's a Chicago chain.
Right.
Yeah. I guess like the daughter of the guy, the granddaughter of the guy who started it was like got married, moved to Orange County, and she's like, I need a Portillo's, Dad. And they just like set up a Portillo's.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, a friend of mine was in town from Chicago. Oh. That person got on a flight to go back to Chicago. I was so jealous that they were going to go get Portillo's that I was like, I'm going to drive to Orange County to get some Portillo's. Oh. No shit. I got stuck in traffic through East LA for so long. This person flew to Chicago.
Oh, no.
And managed to get from Midway Airport to a Portillo's before I got from the Valley to Buena Park. So would I eat Peking duck from a place run by hopping Chinese vampires? You're goddamn right I would.
All right, deal.
We got way off track once again.
Oh, by the way, speaking of food, there's a Mexican dish called a vampiro, I think.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that?
Yes. It's like a crispy taco.
Yeah. But it's flat.
It's flat.
And it's not like a Mexican pizza, but like, flat. And the first time I saw that, I was dating this girl and she goes, Vampiro. Oh, does that mean it has garlic on it?
Oh my god.
I thought it was the funniest thing. She was trying to be funny, and it was very funny.
Was
very
she a comedian?
clever. She was.
Wow.
She was.
She didn't know better, huh?
One that got away.
The one that got. You really want to be a dad?
I love. I just want to be a dad. That's it. That's what it's,
Back to the Chinese hopping vampires.
If we must.
Yes. The rigidity of these creatures is because, the rigor mortis, and they get strapped onto the backs of the families, and it looks like they're hopping around. Cultural significance, it's really about the warning of disrespecting the dead and properly burying those corpses and spiritual balance. This is the second episode in as many weeks that we're talking about balance between life and death. It reflects Taoist and Confucius values about ancestor worship and harmony. There's a fear of disrupting the natural order, family duty, or spiritual corruption. Basically, the Jingxi are what happens to you if you ignore ghost etiquette. You skip your grandma's grave cleaning day, guess what? She's come back to haunt you. She's going to come back to work at that restaurant in New York to serve me Peking duck.
All cryptids really are just like ways to keep kids in line. It's like, hey, don't, it's like, dare I say Santa Claus is a cryptid.
Not, you know what? You were correct.
Thank you.
Wait, no, you're not, because there was an actual Saint
No,
Nick.
I like what you said first.
But you know what? Not all cryptids are about keeping kids in line, because we have an episode next week that is not about a cryptid that keeps kids in line.
How about that?
Yeah. Sightings and evidence. There's historical records mentioning corpse walking rituals in southern China. Taoist priests would transport the bodies back home by tying them upright and bouncing them in unison through the village. Villagers at night would see this, and they'd see corpses hopping, and that's kind of where the idea of hopping vampires come from. Glowing corpses and ghostly hopping figures have been reported throughout the countryside from the 18th and 19th century. Then you have like modern sightings. Usually it's urban legend, people in rural areas cleaning, and they see hopping shadows or pranksters dressing up. But again, like my mom talked about it. She talked about it to my aunt in such a matter-of-fact way that it stuck with me. Like they weren't joking. They weren't like talking about it as if it was just a rumor kind of thing. They talked about it like with some real shit. And that stuck with me ever since I was a little kid, that my mom like talked about them digging up the corpse of this family member and seeing, and now we know that it's, the nails look like they've grown because the skin actually recedes on the body and the hair continues to grow for a little while after.
Oh.
So, and because of the gases that build up in your body, a corpse will look bloated and it'll look like it's been feeding. I don't know if that's, I'm sure they knew that in the 80s when my mom was talking about this, but I don't know if they knew it in Vietnam in the 80s.
I think what you're most afraid of based on this story is sincerity. I think when people come to you and they speak in a sincere tone, you're that's scared. That's what really scares.
Sincerity. I believe that people who are being sincere are
scary,
full of it. I think they're full of crap.
There's no sincerity in this cruel world.
Not in Hollywood. Not in this town. Not in this town.
No, just Peking duck. That's all we can get.
Peking duck.
That's the best we can get.
Best place in outside of Peking. Peking. Is that a place? Is Peking a place? I'm a terrible Asian. Taoist priests carried bells, swords dipped in ink for talismans, Fu talisman on the forehead. Again, that is these, like basically a post-it note with Chinese writing on it. Was stuck to their head, so immobilize them. Everyday tools like mirrors, chicken blood, sticky rice, or firecrackers can be used as well. I understand mirrors. There's the whole thing about vampires and mirrors, but sticky rice and firecrackers? Like, how is that
That sounds like a slur.
That feels like
a slur. That feels like something we can't talk about.
I just imagine people taking those. You know, what are those? Is those little poppets? You throw them on the ground. They
Oh
just
yeah,
pop.
yeah,
Wrapping those in 3M Post-it notes and just throwing them on the ground.
yeah. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. How
Yeah.
how vindictive. How silly. How wild that would be. Yeah. I mean, all these things to stop one of these guys, that would stop anything, right? That would stop pretty much anything.
Yep.
Especially the Post-it note. Just out of
that would scare me.
yeah.
Let's talk about some cultural references, media references. There was a huge boom in the 80s, the 1980s, Hong Kong cinema. There was a movie called Mr. Vampire, which is this is a screenshot from 1985 that made Jiangxi an international icon. There were sequels and spin-offs, endless hopping vampire kung fu comedies that came from that. Jackie Chan had Jackie Chan's Encounters of the Spooky Kind came out in 1980, also featured them. There was a TV show in Asia that often had Shang-Chi episodes that talked about mixed in horror and slapstick. Like I mentioned earlier, there is an issue of Shang-Chi, the Marvel character, the Marvel comic character, where he has to fight Shang-Chi.
Whoa.
Which I wanted to be in the Marvel offices when they pitched that story. When some writer was like, listen, Shang-Chi fights Shang-Chi and they're trying to suck his chi. And I know somebody was like, wait, back up. What now?
Who's on first?
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I mean, if that's the pitch, Shang-Chi fights Shang-Chi so they don't take his chi. I'm out, guys. I'm Asian, and I'm like, I'm out. I can't do this. There are anime interpretations, cartoons. Once again, Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire has, was inspired by Shang-Chi. Scooby-Doo, all about the creepy monsters.
Yeah, you stay on TV long enough, you kind of dig into the lesser known villains in the cryptid world, I guess.
Some video games. They appeared in Darkstalkers, a Capcom fighting game. There's a character who's a Shang-Chi with claws. Again, Chinese Mandarin speakers. My apologies. The Shang-Chi, he was a Shang-Chi with claws and hopping movements. Like, if you got into a Street Fighter type fight with a Shang-Chi, wouldn't you just like sweep the leg? He's hopping.
Yeah. But that's against the rules.
All right. Sleeping Dogs, Nightmare in North Point DLC had hopping vampires, and World of Warcraft had undead enemies that kind of like the Shang-Chi. Phasmophobia fans also modded versions of it into ghost hunts.
Oh, cool.
It also shows up in literature and music. You have Chinese ghost story anthologies, modern horror novels, including The Undead. Punk and metal bands in Asia reference Shang-Chi all the time, because of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do. And of course, traditional paintings show stiff corpses with arms. Modern internet culture has them turned into memes and toys and anime. But yeah, that is just a quick, brief history on the Chinese hopping vampire or jumping vampire, also known as the Shang-Chi. Peter, what do you think?
I think there's another thing that keeps kids in line. And the jumping aspect of it just, it makes it a little scarier.
Yeah.
It's like, this is way scarier than regular vampires. And I think regular vampires can fly, can't they?
Yes. They can turn into bats.
Turn into bats and fly.
Yes.
But they can't fly like on their own. Like Edward Cullen isn't flying.
Who is Edward Cullen?
Edward Cullen is...
Oh, Edward Cullen was my jazz teacher in high school. I'm sorry.
Edward Cullen. And he was a real
His
Chinese
name was
vampire.
not Edward Cohen. It was David Cohen. David Cohen. I'm so sorry. I am pissing off Chinese people and Jewish people.
I bought a used car from a guy named David Cohen.
Really? Was he my jazz teacher in high school?
Maybe.
All
was
right.
it a 86 Chevy Cavalier?
Oh my God.
Red?
It was. He did drive that around.
Yeah, I bought it off him. 200,000 miles on it.
That sounds about right.
Lasted the whole road trip, and then we had to retire.
Where did you wait? You bought a car with 200,000 miles on it and took out a road trip. Where was the road trip from? Sherman Oaks to Burbank?
It's a great deal. It was from St. Pete, Florida to Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay, that's not terrible.
No, not bad. Not
But
bad.
not
A
a
couple
place you wanna
hours. But you know
Break
what?
down.
No, you don't want to break down anywhere in between there.
No.
And like, yeah, geographically, where are these vampires? Are these vampires everywhere? Or are they exclusive to China?
I think they're exclusive to Southeast Asia, so China.
Yeah, everyone's got their own version of magic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, I think there's something in the dirt, in the
Okay.
soil there, that like makes me believe that one, this is definitely to keep kids in line. Like, hey, treat your elders right, or like,
Mhm.
make sure you have a proper burial and respect me, and celebrate my life when I'm gone,
Yeah.
or else.
Definitely.
Because I mean, I don't know. I think kids, like, I don't know, if you're handling a death, I'm like, just
I mean, this is
throw
like,
that thing in the trash.
This was like 16th to 19th century China. So it was all about like family and legacy and your children and your family taking care of your corpse when you're done. Like,
Yeah, that's what inspired Fast and the Furious.
it's all about family.
Dude, it is.
It's all about
right?
family.
Also, you know what? You bring up a great point,
Mm.
because back in the day, as far as entertainment, now there's so much entertainment. Thanks for tuning in. But back in the day, I imagine a funeral was an event, more of an event
Right.
than it is now. I mean, it's an event now, of course, but more of an event now than it could possibly be now, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you're kind of like looking forward to people dying.
I mean, I look forward to people dying all the time, just so I get more stage time.
More stage
That's
time, yeah.
very cynical and awful of me, but some of you aren't going to stop voluntarily.
That's what I think. Yeah. So, right. Yeah. You're gonna have to be pulled off that stage. Yeah.
The cold hand of death is going to have to pull you from that stage to get you to stop, and I invite that.
Yeah, but you know what?
That makes me sound like a terrible person.
But to your point, at some point in whatever you do, whether it's something in the arts, you're a craftsman, you're doing something, you lose your chi, right? Or it's taken from you. Like, you lose your zest for it. You lose your lust for life. You lose the weightlessness feeling that you got when you were first pursuing this love of yours, whether it's
Like when you
work
become
or
a
arts.
bitter, embattled comedian, or when you bomb, right? It sucks the chi out of you. It sucks the life force out of this thing that we're doing. So can we call certain comedy clubs Chinese hopping vampires?
Ooh.
And which comedy clubs? Let's name some names.
For self-preservation, no.
You bitch.
Honestly, I haven't been to any bad comedy clubs. I love every comedy club.
Bullshit.
Any opportunity to perform. But I do think, I do
I'll
think.
name some goddamn clubs.
No, don't you do it, Tom. Don't you
Because they're
do
clubs
it.
I don't work at.
Get off the ledge, Tom. Don't do it. You don't mean it. You don't want to say it, Tom. You don't want to say it. You don't want to do it. But also, I'll say this about, you brought up bombing. I think bombing now, not for me but for anybody, bombing is like a point of pride. If you're really bombing, you're just like putting your pride first. Like you're just like, oh, I'm going to say this in spite of the reaction that I'm getting. And it's not, it's like alien of like what you're doing. If this could make more sense, it's like, if you're bombing on stage, then you're like being prideful about something you don't need to be prideful about.
I do not understand that.
So it's
Explain that again.
It's like, hey, a big part of this art form, stand-up comedy, is being present.
And if you're watching this, my cat is on my lap.
Oh, hey, about that. And so then, if you're bombing, you're putting your pride ahead of your presence and your performance. Because if the show is not going well for you, and let's say you realize this halfway through, however much time you're doing, the thing to do is be present and at least acknowledge that, hey, oh, well, you guys didn't like that. Rather than full steam ahead, I'm going to do what I came here to do outside of the reaction, because that's treating comedy like we're doing it in a vacuum.
Still lost me.
Really?
Still lost
So
me.
Taylor Tomlinson, she was asked recently, she was like, oh, what do you do when you're bombing?
Okay.
And she said, I have, and first half of this, you might think one thing, but the second half makes more sense. She goes, I don't bomb anymore because I have found a way to be more present. I'm paraphrasing what she's saying, but like, I found a way to, if things are not going well, to make the decision to pivot to being as present as possible. And that will go over better, or not save what she's doing, but like, it becomes a different type of a moment.
Okay, so I think what you're saying is when you're bombing and you become aware of the situation and you, instead of deflect from it, you decide to embrace it and embrace the moment and understand what's happening and take that presence of mind to change the situation.
Yeah.
So now instead of like going into, a happy, carefree comedy club where people are just ready to laugh, into like a battlefield
pit.
Yeah. And then you realize, oh, I'm in a pit.
Yeah.
That's when you go, all right, how do I turn this into, the playground I was hoping it to be?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And then if you're not capable of doing that, that's one thing. You need to learn that. But if you're not acknowledging that that's what you need to do, then like, you're just kind of like, you're putting your pride ahead, like, oh, I'm better than, you're almost saying I'm better than these people. It's like, well, not tonight, you're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's name some comedy clubs that are these jumping vampires. No, you know what? That makes sense. I think this was a good episode. We kind of got all over the place.
And
but
those Chinese hopping vampires, they can get all over the place.
And Mario, why is my cat
hello
all over the place? Anyway, that's it for this episode of Cryptids Comedians. This was fun.
Quick and dirty.
What did you learn?
I learned that every region has their own, not only do they offer their own types of foods, they offer their own types of terror and their own types of, ways to scare kids into doing the right thing, or to, pass down tradition. And also, there's a spectrum. It's like, you're an energy vampire, monopolizing a conversation at a pool party where everyone's supposed to be hanging out, and you corner me and you tell me how funny you think you are and how you really gave Hollywood a shot. And, you could have moved out here at the same time that I did, but you decided not to. And then, you served, in your serving job, you served Barack Obama that one time. Or, you could be like, dead and bloated and sucking the chi out of people. So like, and also those two are the same types of person.
Okay. All right.
What'd you learn, Tom?
That I will go through almost anything to get good Peking duck.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to.
That defines you.
If you can find me a good Peking duck place in Southern California, and the weird thing is, the San Gabriel Valley is littered with Chinese restaurants. I've yet to find I'm gonna get kicked out of this SGV. I've yet to find one that's like as good as the one in New York City. I said it.
Wow, hot take. Hot take.
Said it. Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Peter, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Oh, look for me on Instagram, Peter_Murphy, and then on YouTube, youtube.com/Peter Murphy YouTube.
Excellent. I am at _Thom Tran, THOMTRAN. Tour dates at ThomTran.com. Lots of them. Going on the road a bunch this fall, this spooky season. I wonder how we can make this just spooky season all year long.
Oh, what if we shave our eyebrows?
That's just disturbing.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about the show. If you're listening on your favorite podcast, leave a leave a nice message on the podcast. Leave
Yeah,
a
and
5-star rating. We'll talk about it later. We'll read out your ratings.
in the rating, tell us where to get the Peking duck.
Oh my God, yes,
Yeah.
yes, 100%. If you know a good place in Southern California to get good Peking duck, you let me know.
Just copy and paste a Yelp review.
Yeah, just read that. You know what? Open Yelp, and then copy and paste what he said. Is actually what he said. Again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.